Hey, Nat, did I tell you about this guy on social media? Oh my God, he's so funny. His name's like Bob. What is it? Bob Herzog. And he's like a...
Is he single?
No. Listen. He is a Cincinnati TV presenter. Anyway, what are you doing?
It's Valentine's Day.
He does this crazy makeup thing, and he's like, I'm gonna slay my makeup, and he puts it on, and he puts it on like this, and he goes all crazy.
Sounds pretty aggressive.
Oh, are we on?
No, I don't think we've got heaps of time.
All right. And he's like so crazy. He's like, I'm gonna slay and beat my face, and he puts. I've learned how to do my makeup from a 40-year-old man
who uses the word slay and aggressive.
Slay.
Hey, you need a few more hearts?
Oh my God. Hi guys, welcome to the show. I'm not sure what's happening.
Valentine's. Valentine's Day.
Oh my God. Okay, I totally okay. Welcome to the show, guys. Welcome to the Pauline and Nat show, or Nat and Pauline show, because we haven't named it yet, but we're still going. Tonight we're mostly very excited because we're having our first guest, and
it's going to be cool.
It's going to be cool, and we're going to introduce her soon. And we are talking about how to be creative in life and in business.
This is creative right then.
Oh my God, I look like an idiot. So make sure if you've tuned in, comment below, tell us you're with us. I know, obviously, it's Valentine's Day. Hopefully you're catching us on the replay. We had so many people message us last week about our last week's show. We've got tons of guests lined up over the next few weeks. International guests too. I haven't told you this, but I sorted out an international guest today from LA. And it's going to be very exciting.
Such a bragger.
I'm such a bragger. So I wanted to do creativity because it's all about figuring out who you are in life. And we were talking earlier about personalities. You know, have you done those personality tests?
Do our intro at all?
Oh,
the video?
Oh yeah, intro.
Imperfectly awesome.
He's laughing.
Oh, we're missing all the cues tonight. So good.
Obviously, we have issues. Anyway, as I was saying before, I got rudely interrupted. We're talking about personality tests. Now, the one I love is the 16 personality test, and it was an eye-opener for me when I did it. Did you feel the same way? You probably didn't feel the same way.
I actually hate shit like that.
Do you?
Yeah.
But some people aren't.
Some people love it. I think it's cool, but I'm like, oh yeah.
But it's almost like you need to. Sometimes you're just not aware that that's true. What you are. Like, so I'm a campaigner, and
we can't show it, which is a bit of a shame.
No, we probably could, but so I'm a campaigner, and I was reading it to Nat before, and I was like, oh, I want to be what you are.
But it's A for awesome.
Yeah. Mine's like enthusiastic, creative, sociably free spirit, who always has a smile on her face, and I was like, that's so not me. And Nat is an entrepreneur, of course.
Sorry about that.
Smart, energetic.
Sorry, just repeat that. I didn't hear that first bit.
Not so smart, energetic, very perceptive, and lives life on the edge, which I thought that was quite good because that's exactly how you treat your business. But like, if you didn't know that, it's almost like validation. Like, oh my gosh, that's what I am.
But tell me though, how is it connected to creativity? So this cool to know personality test, and it gives you validation. How does it fit into creativity, and why is,
Because I think people they either think in their head that they're one way when really they're not. Like sometimes you don't connect all the dots.
Is that the volume on? Sorry.
Yeah. So sometimes you don't connect all the dots. And you think one way. Like I was telling you that story the other night, how I'll put it in a business concept. Like I always decided that December was like the worst month and I'd never make money in December. And then one day I realized it was because I was trying to sell the wrong thing. Yeah. And because I had got so so single focused that in December you don't make money, and then I realized, I was selling something that my customers didn't want. So I changed that up, and lo and behold, I had the best December ever. So it's creative thinking. Being creative in your business and your life actually helps you thinking outside the box later on. That's how I wanted to connect it all up. It's understanding who you are as a whole.
So you've just wrapped up the show's tonight's topics, and we're like...
That's it, folks.
No, I'm only joking. I'm joking.
Yes.
But I think you're right about creativity, as we actually forget when we start in our businesses how our past jobs help us as entrepreneurs to be creative problem solvers.
Yeah.
To think outside the box, and when you get confident about who you are in your business, would you agree that you start to then embrace all of your ideas creatively and bring them into a unique brand?
Yes.
Do you know what I mean? So a lot of people say to me, Nat, I love your brand and how you stand out. And it's just literally about being confident and okay with who I am, and how I articulate things is perfectly okay. And if I want to put hearts all over myself or wear bright lipstick, that it's that creative part of me, and that's totally cool.
Yeah, well, I think, we're all creatively different, right?
Yeah.
You have your own flair.
Yes.
I have my own flair. Creative can come out in so many different ways. I'm a photographer. Andy. I like to do photography and graphic design, but I also, I've started to be a little bit more creative with my house and just do a little bit of, design certain areas. And Nat, how are you creative?
Are we going to... so how am I creative? Man, I'm creative every day. So, sometimes...
Your cards.
About using... my cards up. Are there pictures up?
Yeah.
Oh, shivers. I'm going to say... there's some cards up, right, at the moment. No, we've...
And your food. So quickly talk about your food.
So quickly, right, so repurposing and being creative is, I would take a lot of my strategies and repurpose them, and I've created 52 imperfect ways to take imperfect action, right? So that took creativity to create something different.
Yeah.
And then that picture that you saw of the food was, there's so many people who still don't know that I'm a trained chef, qualified as a French trained chef when I was 21, which was only a few years ago, to be honest with you. Obviously that's a joke. And and being a chef, you have to be really creative. You have to be creative in, seriously, there's only so many frickin' things you can do with a potato and some vegetables and meat on a plate. So you had to get creative in how you're going to cook it, and different methods, how are you going to get it on the plate. And so now I can take that training and utilize it with how I put memes together, how I use my photos with words. So people will be like, do you get a graphic artist to do that now? I'm like, no, I've just tuned into my creativity. But that's come through from being a chef, where you have to have been creative.
I have to say, the photo of that platter, I was very impressed.
Thank you.
Thank you. It was...
Did you not try to claim it as your own?
Yes. If someone follows me on Instagram and saw that I had done that and didn't click to the next image, I did it.
So funny.
It was so funny. But yeah, I can't do that, whereas...
You're a great gardener. I can't garden how you'd garden.
I don't garden. I just place things. But,
It's creative. That's creative.
But that's the thing. All of us are different. And, you're a good chef. And, I can't cook. I can't put those recipe things together and make it look good. That's not my all these things help us to... It's almost like putting pieces together to help you format, everyday thought, really, and it helps you in business. It seriously does. It helps you think outside the box. And I think every person, whether you're and our guest might or might not agree, but as I am a creative, I think I can't cope if I'm not having a place to be creative. That's why you probably see me doing a lot of projects. I'm caught up with a friend who came in from LA today, and she's like, you're always doing stuff. And it's like, well, I have to, otherwise what would I do?
And what did your personality type say about that? Like, your personality type would have backed up the fact that you are a...
Awesome. Awesome.
No, that was
amazing,
mine. Smart and awesome.
Smart. It just says enthusiastic, creative.
Oh, there you go. You have creative in your thing.
And it's quite cool. So the personality test, I do it with, I actually make my clients do it. And sometimes it's a real eye-opener. It's like no one's actually...
16personalities.com.
Yeah, so go to 16personalities.com. I'll put the link in later on. And it gives you a real breakdown, of things. So it helps you with your strengths and weaknesses. If you've never actually really thought, well, what is my strengths and weaknesses? Well, don't worry, because it will tell you. One of my strengths is, observant, curious, energetic, enthusiastic, an excellent communicator.
So tonight's show's reading Pauline's personality profile.
But I think it's, a lot of people, and like my weaknesses, find it difficult to focus. That doesn't sound like me at all.
That doesn't sound like you at all. You don't, definitely, you do have very good focus.
Get stressed easily, highly emotional. It is kind of true.
Independent to a fault.
Yeah.
Oh, that's very true.
Yeah, and then it has your friendships as well, your career path. It's just really good. I think everyone in business, and I made my son do it, and he was just like, ooh. It's like opening a window to your soul, almost.
Hey, so let's also talk about and acknowledge for a quick second that it is Valentine's. I don't know if you've guessed, but I made the effort to zhuzh the studio tonight because I found these in Pauline Stockhausen's bag. Like, who has frickin' sticky post-it hearts?
These are my post-it notes.
She's
wasted them. This is so I can write notes.
This is where her important social media strategy happens, right here.
I know. I think I missed. I don't know why they're in my bag.
So we've got a few people who have joined us tonight, but
awesome. Say hello, everyone. Hello.
So we'd love to know your thoughts around social media. Love to know your thoughts around social media. Love to know your thoughts around how are you creative in your business, and are you and do you think that you need to be? And maybe what could you start implementing? I really would love, if we could. I want to share my story behind my logo.
Oh yeah, because your logo's pretty out there.
Do you reckon I thought it was a bit boring?
Did you?
No, not boring, but, I want it to be bigger and bolder. So, anyway, I chose, so as you know, Catapult's changing its name, and I'm now going to be Natalie Tolhopf.
Does everyone know that? We didn't talk about that last week on our show.
No, this is how we get creative problem solutions. I had a little bit of some issues with some trademarking, so I've chosen to step away from Catapult and now head into natalietolhopf.com. And it was actually interesting because before that happened with the business name, I'd already booked in to get my logo redone. Just a little zhuzh.
Yeah, zhuzh.
And then I'd already booked it in, and all of a sudden this news came through. So I was like, okay, we need to do a little bit of a step up. When I first got my logo done and I had started my business, I wanted to make sure it was done properly. So I went to a brand strategist and I went to a male because I'm obviously female. Just wanted to put that out there.
Yeah.
And
in case you didn't know.
And I wanted a male's energy, and I wanted a left brain rule following person who I could say, you got to break the rules when you work with me. I want you to think out of your design box, because a graphic designer and brand, they work to quite not an artist, they work into scope.
Yeah.
And I was like, dude, he said, what you want from me, I have to break out of my normal realms. And I'm like, that's perfect, because I want your creativity.
Yeah.
So when he came back to me and I gave him the brief, I cried, and he was happy tears. And he said to me, oh, why are you crying? And I said, without you knowing, poor guy, eh?
Yeah.
Without you knowing, you've actually captured the essence of my grandmother, who, those were her favourite colours. The flower, there's actually kind of a flower in the back. If you look in the middle, there's actually like a flower in the background and it's got yellow. That was her favourite kind of style, and she was actually an entrepreneur. And I just said to him, you've captured my grandmother. So for me, it's a huge spiritual sign that I'm on the right track. So I just wanted to tell that creative story around, logos and brands actually have emotion through them. We've got Jessica here. Jessica's an awesome photographer. Actually, Jess, it'd be love if you could just quickly pop in. Jess, you do a particular type of photography, and I don't want to give it the wrong name. So obviously photographers get to be creative all the time, right?
Yeah.
Oh, well, you're a photographer.
Oh, but I'm a
time.
documentary photographer. I document. I don't. Unless I'm doing sunset.
Are you trying to play it down or something? Like, don't you have some New York thing or something?
Yeah. I got 2 exhibitions.
Oh, yes. I just don't really do much.
I got 2 exhibitions this year. I just booked my second exhibition in October. So, because that's going to be exciting. Let's just say that. No, let's just talk about our week just for a quick second before our guest comes on. My camera broke yesterday.
Oh, yeah,
and I haven't had a chance to like fully get into my camera broke yesterday. So, I'm totally trying not to freak out. I'm trying to serendipitous, actually. You were just talking about...
Spell that.
Serendipitous. I can't spell it. But, the fact that you were doing, Nat was doing new brand, and then this change came.
Yeah.
That was serendipitous. I reckon this has connected with creativity as well. Like, the fact that my camera broke right now is kind of serendipitous that it broke now, because if it broke in like 8 weeks, it would have been a massive problem.
Yeah.
I'm doing something really big, and if it broke then, I'd be totally screwed.
Are you allowed to say what you're doing in 8 weeks?
No.
Do you know how annoying it is being your friend?
I know.
Oh yeah, I'm doing an exhibition in New York, and then in 8 weeks I'm going to blah blah blah. It's like whatever.
Yeah, soon I'm
going to Oriwa.
I'll be able to share what I'm doing in a few weeks. It's really exciting. I'm kind of nervous, but for those who follow me, I'm sorry. I haven't actually said anything online.
No.
Just because you're my friend, Anyway, so serendipitous is kind of like, things happen for a reason. And I've learnt in business about just to relax and roll with it. Having my camera break yesterday is a massive deal. I use my camera all the time. I've got some major things going on in my business right now where I need my camera, and I'm just letting it go. And I know I can. I was lucky enough that I needed it yesterday and I could use Andrew's camera. So I used a really flash video camera for the first time, and it worked really well. So
do you want to tell the audience how you spent 3 hours behind the camera and forgot to flip up the flippy thing?
No, I don't want to say that.
Can I tell them?
No. No, but Andrew was like, "You what? You looked through the eyepiece?" I was like, yeah.
Hey, so Jess, the photographer who's just jumped on here, she does urban feels photo shoots. So what I love about Jessica is last year she was doing a different style, but she's creative enough to keep her brand fresh and shifting it around, along with different names for something, instead of like your traditional family shoots. Actually, while we're here, I did want to do a shout out for now I'm gonna have to try and say her name properly, is Charmaines Martinovich, photographer.
Yep.
If you go to her page, Charmaines Martinovich, she's doing this awesome, she's a photographer, and she's taking a group of women, and they have to stand there in their best lingerie and holding a sign what they love about their bodies. So for her, she's been a creative way of getting her, because one of her passions is about telling women's stories behind maybe like a Bell's palsy or having a transplant or something. That's actually part of her passion, and she wants to write a book. So part of this journey is for her to get it started, and I'm like, man, that's a very cool use of being creative.
Do you think, when I was brought up, when I was younger, and it just made me think of it when you said, so 15, art was my favourite subject, but it was really frowned upon to do art. There was no money in art.
Yeah, of course.
And look how we've changed, 360, and now being a creative and an artist, everything you do in business has to have some sort of creative component to it. Social media is very visual. We're doing a lot more, videographer. We're doing a lot more video. A lot of photography, and people, to be a photographer, you had to have an expensive equipment, and I've taken amazing photos with my phone, and it's amazing how it's changed. I remember, and hopefully my mum doesn't watch this because I get in trouble again, because I've already been in trouble once, twice, 3
Only
times,
once,
4
I was
times.
going to say.
Anyway, my mum told me there's no money in art. She doesn't remember, but that one comment stuck with me, and I didn't continue my art, because I was like, well, there's no money in art. So it was a great pleasure when I went and got my first design job and I earned 3 times more than she did, So
Hey, can we digress actually? Can we talk about...
I thought we did just digress.
No, it's still about big creativity, but this is really digressing.
Okay.
I'd love to know how far through school you got.
Oh, I went to 7th form. I didn't finish my 7th form year.
So you didn't get bursary?
No, I didn't get bursary. I went to work at New World. Money was calling. But I saved money so I could go overseas. So the year after I went to New York. To New York. So. Yeah.
The reason I asked you that is when you were like, oh, when I was 15 I wanted to do art. I was like, when I was 15 I wasn't at school.
Oh, when you?
No, I actually was, but I actually wasn't. I didn't do well at school at all. I really struggled at school.
Well, I don't think that, nowadays, and I find this so funny because, my son's just turned 18 and I'm like, stay in school, go to university. And I know I shouldn't be saying that, and I know we're really digressing, but, my sister left school at 15 and she has a successful business and she's taught herself, so.
It's amazing.
I don't think, Gary Vaynerchuk, he left school at 15 and look what, it's life skills. Life skills can get you through. Of course they can. Skills not the answer to everything.
And actually part of that reason that when I did go to chef school, I really excelled and I topped classes and I was in 90% and stuff. And that's just because of the pure creativity and that I was doing what I loved and it makes a big difference.
So I went and got my degree later as well. I started my degree when I was 25, and I needed that.
Oh, what have you got a degree in?
I've got a digital marketing, why can't I remember? Bachelor of Media Arts.
Oh, that's a bit flash, isn't it?
So I got my degree, first one in the family.
Well done, well done.
Oh, yeah.
So actually, I'd love to know from the viewers. We've got quite a few viewers on here tonight. I'd love to know how many of you who are watching tonight what you think about creativity in your business. How does it help you problem solve? I know for me, being a creative thinker, it helps me take imperfect action, which those of you who do follow my business know that I'm all about taking the imperfect action because it's never frickin' perfect.
Oh my God, my mum's on.
Oh, so she just heard what he said. So I'd love to know, we'd love to know how you think creativity...
we switched positions.
Yeah, we're going to switch it up.
No, that we switched.
Yeah, that's just funny because we swapped the week before.
Well, Jamie,
you obviously been watching enough.
Yeah, he's watched every show. Isn't he a good boy? Even if he hasn't, I'm just going to say he has. I'm pretty sure he has. Hi, Mum.
Anyway, back to the listeners.
Yes.
About creativity in your business. And I'd love to know how many of you actually got through school and what you think about that subject, actually. And then our guest is going to be on really, really soon, which is going to be a lot of fun. Because then you don't have to keep watching us every week. We thought that was probably...
everyone's commenting on your beautiful necklace.
So,
did you just
now
see
there is
that?
a reason why I wore this necklace tonight, because it's about creativity.
Oh.
Did you miss the memo?
Yeah. My favourite.
So this necklace is like my logo and obviously like my brand colours. And a friend of mine, Christine Sheehy, who's going to be a guest on here one day too. She just doesn't know that and we haven't told her. She has a beautiful blue one and I saw it one day on a show she did.
Actually, I've seen hers as well.
She sent me the link and now I have it.
Yeah, it's very pretty.
So thank you, Angela. It's very nice.
Actually, you know what? I don't want to touch there, but one of the flowers. I used to have a ring with one of those flowers. It's so funny. I just noticed it.
Red currant, Angela. That's where I got it from. Anyway.
Yeah. So we do have a guest coming on soon, and hopefully she's just going to pop in and let us know that this is the first time we're doing it.
It's the first time we've had
we're doing it. Hopefully she's around.
And if you're there, just jump on into your Zoom, babe, so we know that you're
she's
here.
here. So jump in, and we're not sure. Yeah, just jump in. And why don't you introduce her?
Oh, she looks so lovely.
Oh, she looks gorgeous.
You can't come on. You look too good.
Sorry.
So we might as well just jump straight in, hey? So
yep.
into Angela. Okay, so I've known Angela Murray. It could be 3 years now. So Angela is an incredible person, but for her business, she is Living Life by Colour is the name of her business, and she's a creative life coach, and I'm so excited to have her on tonight because I'm going to let her tell you because she's like left brain, right brain, freaking genius, and it's amazing. And we will introduce you to Ange. Can you see Ange? Like, I assume that you guys can see her.
They can see her now.
Cool. Hi, Ange.
Everyone
Welcome to
can
the show.
see you now, Ange.
Thank you for being our first guest, and thank you for being like, hey, do this, stand on your head, be creative at the same time.
Yeah, you can do that. I'm creative.
Ange, I'd love for you to tell everyone what you have been doing in terms of what your past job was, because I think it's going to blow their heads off when you then tell them what you do now.
Okay, for 35 years I worked in procurement. Sorry, yawn. So my job every day was about negotiation and contracts for 35 years.
That's a long time.
Not anything to do with creativity at the level that I currently use it. Although I did have to be creative in my job. But yeah, I worked in corporates for 35 years, and that's what I did. I was basically the person who would tell the marketing team why they couldn't do things.
So if we think of like procurement as quite an analytical left brain activity, right? And then I'm looking at you now and you're full of colour and you've got paintings behind you. How did you segue into what you're doing now? Tell me why you got into creativity.
The first thing I did actually was when I first moved to New Zealand, I decided I wanted to do something in the field of coaching. So I trained to be a life coach. I found that a lot of people told me their problems, so it was nice to actually be able to help them rather than just say, there, never mind. And then in about 2012, I added creativity to it. And what had happened was the year before, I'd started learning how to paint intuitively, which is basically painting with no subject in mind.
Wow.
So for a left brain person, that was actually quite a scary thing to do, because I'd always been the one who would be checking for guarantees and making sure everything lined up and knowing the direction I was heading in, and then suddenly to have this blank canvas that I was just going to start painting on with no subject in mind it just blew me away. And yeah.
So how did, doing the intuitive painting, because I've done one of your classes before and it was called Painting Big, and literally this canvas piece was taller than me. It is taller than me. I ended up doing 2 of the classes, they were so good. And it's this blank canvas and you have to, there's no end, you don't know where you're going. You just got to go on this canvas. It's amazing. But how has that got you to where you are now, being a life coach who uses the creativity?
The thing I found about the creativity is that once you start using your creative brain, you start to use that side of you that can give you all the answers that you're looking for. We spend so much time in our logical brains, which is the side that looks at the past and projects to the future and stops us from doing things. It keeps us small, and it's the sort of the fear-based side of your brain, whereas the creative side will give you all the ideas. It's like your cheerleader. So once I start working with people and they start working and exercising the creative muscle, you can't stop ideas coming up, and those things that have been stopping you from doing what you want to do also come to the surface, because your creativity won't be denied anymore. So it's really interesting to work with.
God damn, that's amazing, eh?
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
And do you have a story of your own or a client, you don't have to give a name, of how that process that you just said then, could you explain that with an example?
I had one client who shall remain nameless, but she will know who she is. One of the weeks I had suggested that she use just 2 colours because she had a rainbow going on and she didn't like it on the canvas. So I suggested she use 2 colours. And what I didn't notice was 3 weeks later, she was still just using the 2 colours. And then she complained, why was everybody else using multiple colours? And basically what she'd done was she'd created a whole bunch of rules that I hadn't given to her.
Wow.
And then the realisation was she did that in the rest of her life, because whatever you do on the canvas, you're actually doing in the rest of your life.
Wow.
So once she realised that, things started to change outside of the studio, and she was looking at where she was following self-imposed rules. that really didn't exist.
Do you know what I love about that? And because I've done one of your workshops before, is it wasn't like you felt like you were in life coaching. Do you know what I mean? You didn't feel like it was kind of you were being coached and there was something wrong with you.
No.
Do you know what I mean? And that's what I love about your style and the tools that you use are incredible. You know, when it comes to business, there's all this talk about journaling, journal your thoughts, journal your feelings. And hey, I'm a big advocate of that. I think journaling is really awesome. But I know that for you, Ange, you have such a non-procurement brain, and you actually have a beautiful creative brain, that when I gave you that exercise as one of my clients, you were like, what is that? And you actually took that exercise and were able to change it up. And I know that later on you're actually going to give that as an exercise to us. But Peter, do you have any questions for Ange?
No, I mean, no, not any that. I mean, I find it hard, you know, how do you get people to get out of their, you know, how do you get the creativity out of them when they've never been creative before?
That's a good question.
Because, you know, for us, it's kind of easy. It's like you just do, like I'm a doodler.
I do have people that come to work with me. A lot of people come who've not done anything since school, and they have a real fear of creativity. And the first thing is they've got to learn to trust me, to know that I'm not going to give them anything too difficult. They're not going to be showing up. And the things we talk about at first are perfectionism and comparison. So don't do that to yourself. Just allow yourself to play. And I think because of the process, we do life coaching sessions before we actually hit the canvas. So I'm working with them to get out of their critical brain into, you know, basically leave the world outside. And then when you get to the studio, then we'll just start to play. I'm not saying that it doesn't come up while they're actually painting, because sometimes it does, but then they need to go there and get that realization. And once they realize that there are no mistakes, it really doesn't matter, you're just having fun, then suddenly it's like watching a flower open. I find it amazing. And then the next thing, they're out buying paint and they've got canvases at home, and yeah, there's no stopping them. I usually say that it's like opening a box that you can't put the lid back on.
That's cool, eh?
Yeah. Is that a good thing?
It can be expensive.
Yeah, true.
So how have you used creativity to get yourself, you know, because you had a very successful corporate job and now you don't have it anymore, and now you're running your own business. How did you use your creativity or your life skills to get you from where you are right now?
Yeah.
How did I use it? I think the biggest thing about creativity is creative thinking. It's not about the painting and drawing, it's about the mindset. So the biggest thing that I've found is that you might think you have a plan going this way, and then suddenly you get a side swipe in your business going this way, and you can choose to be negative and sit in it, or you can use your creative brain and just follow another direction. And I found that what's the word, pivot, a lot quicker, because I'm not scared to give it a go. And that's the biggest thing that creativity has given to me, is just the way I think.
When I use some of your techniques, because I've done two of the really big paintings with you, is that I didn't realize how much I wasn't expressing myself. I know, believe that or not. So I'm sitting here with freaking love hearts on. And so when I did the work with you, I just realized how much I was holding back. And it was almost like Angela giving you the permission that it's okay, Nat, to take your painting outside and spray paint it if that is what you want to do.
Yeah.
And so, of course, I went outside and spray painted it. And then I took spray painting to a whole new level when, for my branding video, I may or may not have spray painted a wall. just saying.
So I'm not having the blame for that.
A client went and took a selfie with the catapult.
Oh,
no,
really?
with the imperfect. Yeah, that was great.
So how do you like another artist, like a creative person, or like myself, you know, how would you pull out, you know, where you've been trained how to paint and get back into creativity? Because
cool.
I find a lot of, you know I struggle with that, where you know, paint between the lines and
oh my God, are you a paint by numbers?
No, I'm actually an expressionist painter, but I'm a bit of both. I can flip, but because I did Angela's course as well, and I struggled. Like I was very, if you look at my painting that I did, it's very pretty. It looks good in my bathroom, I might add, and it goes with my color scheme. It's almost like when I look at it now, I think, did I express myself like I should have? Because actually, maybe I was thinking this will look good in my bathroom. I'll better just do you know what I mean? I probably wasn't as creative as I should have been.
Yeah, I think the people who think they're not creative and do no creativity probably get the most out of it because they don't come with any preconceived ideas. I do have artists that come who are really good at copying, so they can copy from a photograph or do something really realistic. Yeah. And the thing that they get from me is that whole, let's throw paint, let's see what happens when we mix these together. We have no plan. So it's that letting go of the outcome. That's actually quite difficult if you're already an established artist and you think you've got all these rules around art. Because I don't believe in a lot of them.
I have to say, the painting behind
that's
you,
amazing.
just
I want it.
The drip work,
yeah, that's mine.
Yeah, I am totally in love with that.
That is nice, eh?
It's
to fight me for that.
It's on.
So that's just about just following what you like.
Yeah.
And then trying something, and there's a lot of curiosity and going, ooh.
Yeah.
So, Ange, just on a business level, how have you had to stand out and not be seen as an art teacher? Oh, go and see Ange and go to a painting class. She'll teach you how to paint. Tell me about that part of your journey.
Yeah, I have because I was originally a life coach and then I added art. When I started on Facebook and Instagram, because I was posting pictures of painting, people assumed that I was an art teacher. But the thing is, if you come to any of my courses, there's always elements of life coaching, because for me, the biggest thing that art does is give you empowerment. Creativity and creative thinking makes you, gives you self-belief and you get self-empowerment, and that's what I'm really all about.
And when someone has self-empowerment, though, Ange, like why does someone need to care about being empowered? What does that give someone?
I think for me, the biggest thing that it gives you is you allow yourself to take direction in life. You don't deny yourself the job you want to go for, or the fact that you might want to leave your husband. All of those things that you deny yourself because you're running all the shoulds.
Yeah.
And that's, for me, is what self-empowerment is looking at you and your life and going, is this what I expected for myself, and is it good enough for me?
Yeah, that's amazing. Ange is going to give us an exercise to do, and I thought maybe while Ange is doing that, while you're laughing at us, you could think of, if you've got any questions that you want to ask Ange, in terms of how can creativity help you in your business, because that's what our show is primarily all about, is how can we help you in business. And in particular, creativity, I think, is a really big one. So have a think, people who are watching, if you have any questions. Otherwise, Ange is going to make us do a cool activity that you guys can do at home as well.
Definitely.
Yep.
Okay. So you mentioned journaling earlier.
Yes.
So for me, a blank journal is as scary as a blank canvas is to my students. My brain just goes completely blank. I can't sit there and write a blog post just straight out of my head. I have to get the creative side going. So what I want you to do is to take a pen.
Got pieces. We're not drawing on the table. Just thought I'd tell you.
And a piece of paper.
Oh, which
And
colour?
I want you for 10 seconds to do a scribble without looking.
So, like, close our eyes.
No, you can look out.
Close your eyes.
Oh, scribble.
Yeah. Can you scribble? I bet you're a neat scribbler.
No cheating. Right, stop.
Ooh. Oh, it suddenly went dark. Oh, where's the camera? What's the camera? Hey, sneaky camera. The camera's doing crazy things over here.
So put out your scribbles.
Oh, man.
Okay.
Which?
You can say it. Okay, I want you to swap.
What?
Oh,
no, mine's good.
I only did a little. Yours look funny. What'd you do on this bit? swapping.
Okay, so for just a couple of seconds, all I want you to do is try and change your scribble into something else by adding to it.
Adding to it. Okay.
Yeah. Doesn't matter what it is, it's not a work of art, just play.
No, but we're competitive. It's going to be works of art.
Yeah, because we
That's why I
are
got you to
competitive. Are we supposed to like just scribble or just make it into something?
You're asking me if there are rules, aren't you?
Oh!
Oh, yes.
There are no rules. There are no rules. Just try changing it into something else.
This is hilarious. A TV program, and you guys are watching us doodle. This is where the action's at, people. That's why you don't need Netflix.
Okay. I'm going to get you to swap again.
No.
Oh, yours is cool. You made the whole thing. Hey, you made the whole. Oh look, Andy can like.
No
Turn it around so
comparison.
Andy can see it. Can Andy see it?
You actually made the whole picture something.
Was I not supposed
No,
to?
there's no rules. I just kind of added bits everywhere.
Oh, well.
Oh my god, so funny.
Swap. Okay.
Well, you've got
One
a
more
smiley
minute.
face
Just
with
try
both
and change
of us.
it into something else, so add to it.
Can we change colours?
Oh,
Yeah.
shit.
That was a
Hey,
rule. That was a
you
question.
ask heaps of rules. Oh man, I love it finding that out about you. Oh dear, and this is like,
There's a lot of thinking going on.
I know.
Because
Because
we're so competitive.
We're
It's like,
just doodling.
I know, I feel like there's a race. I feel like I'm against the time. Shit, that says a lot.
Okay.
Oh,
I'm gonna. Are you still doodling?
yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna get you to stop.
all I'm thinking
and
is
just
this
write
is
down,
not a
without
good angle.
thinking, the first 5 words that come into your head.
Do we
Hang on.
swap back? No.
No,
Okay.
What? Say it again.
the
First five.
first 5 words that come into your head.
So I'm
Just write
looking-
it down.
Okay.
Concerned with the picture, or just the first 5 words?
Just the first 5 words.
I don't want to admit. Yeah, we'll see my first word.
So normally you can do this by yourself.
Yeah.
You can share the words or not. It's up to you.
Yeah, so the first word that came to mind, Ange, was spaghetti.
What's for dinner?
Well, it's just because it looks like spaghetti. But then I looked over and saw P's work, and I was like, man, that's impressive. Then I had
Yeah.
expressive, hilarious, and fun. And P's
Okay.
still thinking.
Yeah. So the reason that I got you to do that, and normally I'd get you to do it for 5 or 10 minutes,
Yeah.
just sit and doodle and play, is to get you into that creative side of your brain. So normally when you're in that state, the words that pop into your head are coming from your subconscious.
Ooh.
So if you do that before you journal, it gives you clues about what's going on for you. But you're also in that creative state that when you go to your journal, you'll be much more expressive. You'll get much more out of it when you're
love
not
that.
when you're not comparing yourself to each other and being competitive.
I love that though, Ange. Like straight away, I feel like you've opened up. You've opened up. Like I feel like I could go write something. Write something now.
Yeah,
How do
I
you
feel
P?
I feel like I just want to continue drawing.
I don't know if you can see this, but
Oh,
the
so
other thing you
that's
do
just
is
showing off now, though.
no.
Ah.
The other thing you can do is just take a single coloured pen, like pink, and just doodle with
And
one
doodle.
colour for 5 or
that's a
10
good idea.
minutes. And the idea of having one colour is you're not making any choices. You're just
Ooh,
doodling
that's
one
good.
colour. And you can do things like that as well.
Oh, I love that.
Because one of the things I've found in business is that the worst thing you can ask people is to brainstorm or blue sky think when you've just sat down in a meeting. If you get them to doodle for 5 or 10 minutes beforehand and then ask them, they'll come up with much better ideas.
That's a good idea.
Yeah.
That's a great idea.
I like that. I've already suddenly got hot in the studio with the lights. About halfway through, I start to go, man, it's hot in here. Hey, Ange, that's really
There's a
awesome.
whole bunch of other things you can do, but that's a really quick one.
So tell us, how can people find you to go find cool activities like this? I know that you've got a cool opt-in happening at the moment.
Yeah, my website is livinglifeincolour.co.nz, and my Facebook page is Living Life in Colour as well. So if they want to check out. Oh, and Instagram. I'm everywhere.
Yes, we like it.
That's what we like to hear, that
Hey,
you're everywhere.
Really wanted to appreciate you being the first guest tonight, because Ange had to be kind of like, we're going on Skype, we're going on Zoom. Come in
What are we doing now?
Don't come on now. So, because we had to technically work this out tonight in the studio, so we really appreciate you, Ange, being so flexible. And you're the first person who I said to P, oh my gosh, let's get Ange on to talk about creativity, because you're the first person who came to mind. Not being an art teacher.
No, that's right. That's right.
Cool, thank you.
Thank you so much. I got heaps out of that exercise.
Yeah, so did I.
Yeah, about rushing.
Great.
I was like, oh, under pressure. Well, it wasn't really. Interesting.
Oh, I swapped back.
Oh, you liked yours because you gave it a spaghetti head.
You two are hilarious.
Hey, thank you so much. And go back to some romancing Valentine's.
Yes, thanks
I
for
hope
joining
so.
us on. Yeah.
Thank you.
See you
later.
Bye.
Bye.
So that was really good. I really
was
loved
cool.
that.
Yeah, that
but
was cool
it's
having a
interesting
guest in.
how, I was asking rules.
Yeah, you were asking
Because I'm quite
rules.
competitive. So I was like, I have to win. I have to beat Nat. I have to make sure mine looks good. So,
Hey, but it's cool though. That's what I like about Ange's work is it shows you how you are under certain things. So when you're going in your business tomorrow, have a look at where you keep questioning rules perhaps. And I know that that really stood out for me about the timing for me. I felt myself rushing under pressure.
Yeah, I couldn't come up with the words. I was like, I was like, oh, I can't pick that word. No, I can't have that.
Oh.
Well, just because the words that came up, I was like,
I just came up with I mean spaghetti.
Yeah.
Like
Fun,
just
hilarious,
spaghetti.
awesome.
Charlene, who's been watching, is another life coach actually, and she's put in here, I'm a creative that sometimes it stops me from doing details and planning. I have to be creative and finding ways to get into the actions. Oh, Charlene, I'm a whiz kid with creative thinkers like you. Because I actually work with this amazing jeweler and Sage and Mac, just dropping it in there. And I say to her, she's creative first thing. In her business, the first thing she does is she creates her designs and she goes and handles the jewellery. And then she comes to her business. Now, that actually goes against a lot of what we're told about eat the fucking frogs. Well, I don't know about you, but I don't eat frogs. Eat toads? Eat your toads, eat your frogs. Have you never heard of eat frogs?
No.
Someone help. It's not just me. Well, you have to do the things you don't want to do first. Right? So you eat your frogs. Seriously, that is a thing. And anyway, I always say, don't eat frogs. Go and do what energetically makes you feel amazing, makes you feel good. And often if you're high creative, that means go and do your creative shit first. So Charlene, give that a go, and I think that you'll find that you will be less denying about what you've got to do.
What's really cool is that I was talking to Charlene the other day, and she's doing the Christine Sheehy's book thing as well. So it's going to be like who's who is. We're all going to be there.
Not much competitiveness.
Not competitive or anything, but have you done your homework? I have.
I've already done it.
She's done it.
I'm a geek. I'm a bit of a nerd, I have to say.
Yeah. But I'm really excited.
You guys have all been really quiet tonight. Is that just because it's been so amazing
I haven't
or
clicked
thought-provoking?
To hang on, I'll have a look because there'll be questions on my.
It's coming to the end anyway, team.
Yeah.
Apparently, who's the superstar playing tonight? So it's Valentine's Day.
Robbie Williams.
Robbie Williams. Last week, you guys had frickin' who's the chocolate lady? Nigella Lawson.
Yes.
Nigella.
Chocolate lady.
And
yeah. So it's been
so much happening in Auckland. It's cool.
Yeah, it's been crazy. But I mean, I think for people who are watching the replay to comment and let us know how you guys get your creativity out. Do you love to cook, paint, garden, decorate the house? I don't think, or do you just like to doodle? I mean, I used to doodle all the time when I was on the phone talking to people on the phone. I used to doodle, and I still do that when I'm talking to clients. Sometimes when they can't see me,
I doodle cubes.
Yeah. Cubes,
3D cubes, and I do layers of these 3D cubes.
Oh, really? I do. That's interesting because I do flowers. I do circles and and flowers, and then
That's
flowers, and then, you know, just the petals over and over and over and over again, or I just draw willy-nilly. So it'd be really good if you guys tell us how you guys get your creativity on and how that helps you in your business. I really want to know how it helps to broaden your brain space.
Do give this a go. This generally made you go. It's really cool.
Yeah.
And we'd love to know what subjects you guys would like us, you know, this is our 4th show. We've talked about marketing. We've talked about traditional versus online. We've talked about creativity. We've talked about health and well-being. Like, what do you guys need to know? What do you want to learn? And we're going to have some different guests on. Apparently, we're going international.
We are going international, which I'm really excited about. So we're going to live stream someone in from overseas. So hopefully that will work out. I'm sure it'll be fine. So that's kind of exciting. So yeah. So
no more questions.
You got no more questions?
No more questions. It's been quiet tonight. No more questions. It must have been. I think it's just. Angela was amazing to listen to.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, I love her workshops. I definitely think, you know, doing one every quarter is a good idea.
I've got 2 incredible paintings in my house. Honestly, the size of these TVs behind us, they're amazing.
Yeah, I'd do a big painting, but I don't have room because I've got my paintings on the wall.
Oh, you've got your own.
I've got my own art on the wall. It's all about me.
Isn't it always about you, P?
Yeah. Have you seen my life painting though?
Yeah, that's cool. You should have brought a picture.
Have you guys ever? Have I told you about my life?
Oh, it's a shame the show's about to wrap up. No,
before it wraps up, I'll tell you about my life painting. This is a painting that my best friend Sue Law has painted for me. So I got her to paint it. Started it 7-8 years ago, and every few years I update it. So we don't varnish it, and we put in different pieces. So in the beginning, you know, me and my child were on a hill, and then we added in some Star Wars figures.
Cool.
You know, it's got little reference and hidden meanings in it, so I'm always changing it. So I've got to take a photo each time it changes, and it's really cool. It's almost like my you know those things that you do where you plan out the years ahead?
I've noticed, P,
thing?
I've noticed, P, that there is a man on a white horse, or a horse.
It's a brown horse.
It's a brown horse.
It's Manu Bennett.
There's a man
It's Manu Bennett.
I
love Manu Bennett.
Thinking ahead, because there is definitely someone on there. I mean, I like how you futurely planned.
Yeah, well, he's not necessarily that I want a white man coming into my life. I've kind of decided I don't want that. But it's the horse I like. You know, it's the guy. I just needed something on the horse.
Yeah, look, but the horse there.
Yes, gorgeous Manu Bennett. Oh. Anyway, that was too much information. Anyway, thank you guys for joining us. Our show next week is just as exciting. So tune in Wednesday, 8 p.m. We will be here, and a secret guest may be with us, or maybe not. We haven't decided.
It's going to be awesome when we don't have this humidity and we don't have sweaty faces and humid hair.
Oh,
I'm looking forward to that.
I just hit my mic.
Just saying.
Yeah. So thank you once again, and that's us. We'll see you guys later. See ya. Ciao.
Ciao for now.
Ciao for now.
I love taking these hearts on.